Hi, everybody. So I'm going to give a very short and informal presentation about Microsoft Teams because we just finished working on a integration with them in our bot authoring system, Botkit Studio. And so we had to learn like all of the ins and outs of their APIs and all of the things that they offer that are different than all the other platforms that we've ever worked with. And I found it really interesting because Microsoft has some options that, they're like a later comer in the game, so that I think they've learned from some, the other platforms like Facebook, who has a very rich UI palette, and brought some of that stuff into the workspace. And they have some options that I've never seen before that are really, really cool. I have a bot installed in my Microsoft Teams. Oops, this is not the right thing, sorry. Where are you, Chrome? So this is Microsoft Teams. It looks like many other workplace chat clients. It has channels over here. I have one called Farts. And I have actually multiple teams inside my organization, but I won't really go into that right now. And I have a bot installed here called Botkit, and it has all of the options that you could possibly have in a Microsoft Teams integration turned on right now. So the first one is just a simple thing, but I think is really, really cool, where if you start typing the bot's name, it pops up, and I can select it with my keyboard. I'm like a keyboard person, and then it pops up automatically this list of like pre-built menu options. And that's also keyboard accessible. Super, super handy. And like when you click one of those, it like pre-fills the message, and I can like launch the bot behavior. Like very few other platforms have anything like that. You can have up to 10 menu items that pop out of there. And then you can also have different menu items that appear like in public when you're in a shared channel versus when you're talking one-on-one to the bot. So you might have like administrative things in the one-on-one, but sharing related things or whatever in the public one. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that's cool is that they have this thing called the Compose extension, which down here in the like toolbar thingy, there's this button, and actually I've already saved it, so it's already there. But am I getting feedback? Feedback. This is the closest to being a rock star I can get. Feedback during a meetup. Yes. Better? Okay. So I already saved my bot, so it's here already. But it normally would appear in here in a list of different Compose extensions if you have multiple ones installed. But you can create this little search widget that lives right there next to the chat bar, and it has your like app's icon on it, and it like lives right there in full view of the user all day long, and is like a click away. And then it sends search requests back to your bot as if somebody like executed a search query, but I won't get into the technical details, but it's basically the same kind of message you would receive if somebody like texted your bot. And then you can return like the same kind of message that you would send back in search results. And then that user can like share that bot-powered message into the channel. So pretty cool. Like I haven't seen any other platform that like so directly integrates you into the like authoring experience or the like UI layer like that. They also have a cool thing. So what I saved this so it shows up right there. Normally it would show up there, like I said. In their UI, this is just my favorite thing. They have a button type. Like all the other platforms basically have like buttons that send secret events back to your bot server, and then you have to like respond to it somehow by like replacing the message with an updated message or like sending follow-up messages or whatever. This one has a button that like says a thing, so it just like properly forms the command back to the bot, and you see it happen, and the bot responds with another message. Like, cool. I didn't have to learn what to say to the bot. They also have link buttons, which I think is really cool, and I haven't seen. I think Facebook has link buttons, but super cool to have like homogeneous UI. They're just options attached to this card, but like they can open tabs. And speaking of tabs, this is really the last thing. They have this thing called tabs. So I, as a bot or as an app developer, can create a tab application, and it can be added in private and show me a private view of my tab application, or it can be added in the shared channel and can show like a customizable shared view. So whatever, there's like a configuration step that you can do whatever you want here. A lot of people like this would be like connect it to the appropriate Trello board option, or like, you know what I'm saying, some configuration, and then boop, there it is. So this is my like customized application that now lives inside Microsoft's application, and I can like interact with it inside the tab, and so can everybody else who's in that channel, and it's really handy. And it even like made a link to that from the main chat room. And then I can link, this is the coolest thing, I can like link this back into the chat room, and like people will get a deep link to my tab application. Cool. And so like highlighted the one that I clicked on in the chat room. Again, that's a cool feature that like gives the developer more options to like enrich the application beyond just like chatting at it in the chat room, and like formulating natural language queries to it. So it's really, really cool. And not that those things go away or even really fade into the background, but you know, not everything is like a conversational interaction. Sometimes I want to like share a note that I created. And this allows, you know, us to build those kind of things. So pretty cool. The downside of it is that Teams is sort of like quasi-released. It's like available. You can turn it on in your like Office 365 admin tab if you're the administrator of your organization. So it's like, oh, cool. And then you have to like enable side loading of apps. That is a weird process. And to actually do it, you have to upload this kind of weird zip file that has a JSON file in it and some icon files of very specific proportions. That is all kind of annoying and a pain in the ass to do. So part of what we did in Botkit Studio, for what it's worth, is that we created like an editor for that. So here's like an editor where you can like create that little note command thing, and you can manage your public commands or your private commands. Here's the icon files. There's a highlight color that like is sort of hither thither through the thing. And then there's the tabs, so you can have like your multiple different tab applications that you set up. And then you don't have to worry about like managing the list of valid domains that is also required as part of that manifest file, which I will not bore you any further with. So it's coming. I would say that like Teams is a cool thing that's going to be used by a lot of big companies in the not too distant future. And I think that these kind of things are like showing that they're fairly serious about allowing developers to do cool stuff and giving developers a lot of, you know, a big palette to like create interesting applications. So yeah, check out Botkit Studio if you want to play with that. We walk you through the whole process if you can get a Teams seat to play with. And you know, let me know if you have any questions or want to talk about that. Thanks.